Oh, how are you guys doing? Hope that all is well. Sorry, excuse me. Apologize. Um, Today is Thursday. Happy Thursday, everyone. Hope that you and your family are doing well. All right. There's some things in the news that I want to check in about. So we are here. We are here. What? Who may have work for do? Yeah, I'm live. Literally, I try upset me.
Bluetooth mode.
Literally, I try upset me. Show me off, Bridget. Literally.
Devil don't want a message go to but in the name of Jesus, it will be heard today. Because I know all too well that you see when God speak, you have to listen. And if you have to move, you better get up and go. So I was sitting at my workstation just now, and in the middle of doing everything, I suddenly found myself pausing to pray. And praying to the point where I water well up in my eyes them. And it might seem weird to a lot of people, but let me explain a bit to you. When I think back to the start of the year, compared to now, the things that I had planned, the things that I hope would have worked out. And looking right now and thinking that some of them now look like it will come to fruitfulness, but at the same time, I now let go hope, I now give up faith. And I couldn't help but hearing a voice say, you see in life, God slow we down. Not because what we want too good for we, but so that we don't end up losing the things that He's about to bless us with in the end. So you see the obstacles, the delays, the setbacks, the denial in getting the things that we want the most, they're not punishment, but rather blessings in disguise. Because truth be told, you see, the things that we want for ourselves, it's nothing in comparison to what God have in store for we. And so I have to prepare we in an essence so that when we receive the blessings, we know how to handle and keep it. I might have to talk to myself, but me really a piece of the message to somebody today. Be still and know that He's God. He's an on-time and never changing God. The God where they in the mountaintop and in the valley. The God of yesterday, today, and tomorrow. So not give up hope because your breakthrough is coming. Your breakthrough is on the brink of the horizon. You're coming out. So while you might be there thinking that you don't have nothing to give God thanks for, the devil is a liar. The devil want to break you. But me I tell you today, don't make the devil hold it down and stop you from giving God thanks and praise. Praise Him for the things that didn't go as planned. Give Him thanks and praise for the things that did not work out, because in the end they actually did work out. Thank God for the things unseen. Thank Him for the things that are about to unfold, the doors that are about to be open, and in the same breath, ask Him for the strength, the courage, the understanding, the discernment, because they're all important to equip you for dealing and handling the blessings that are about to come your way. Know that with every blessing comes a battle, and the bigger the blessing, the harder the battle. So nobody give up now. Nobody dress back. Stand up firm, because guess what? You see with God by your side, you can weather any storm. Don't give up on God. Hold it out, my friend. Stay steadfast and humble. Pray. Fast. Are the only way you're not going to make it out.
People, another one. Yeah.
Yeah, man, as someone start the show, man, I tell us that sister there. Powerful words, Powerful words, my people. Now, what's in the news? Let's get into it, ladies and gentlemen. First one, more start with it. Hey, Governor General. I don't know what I go on with you, my general, but something I go on with you, No, no, this is something going to the Governor General. What is actually going on with the Governor General? Very interesting times, ladies and gentlemen. Very interesting times. Let me go to this article here real quick. Alright. Yvonne, how you doing? Renice. Is that Rose McIntosh? How are you? Where you say turn and return, give praises, always thankful to seen and the unseen blessings of faith in your Lord. Joanne, what's up? Joanne, good afternoon. Welcome, welcome, welcome. People on TikTok need a better background phone, you know. Hold on. Background and not so clear. Should we go on the beach? No, let's go on the couch. Yeah, man, let's go on the couch. So when you can't see the chat, cause my background white like Antonio, big up. Blessings, everyone. Please remember to smash that like button. Alright. Don't keep this to yourself. Share the live. And if you have not yet subscribed or followed, I invite you to do that. Subscribe and follow. Alright. So it says here, booted press secretary claims unlawful dismissal and takes the Governor General to court. Da da dee. Da da da.
Unlawful Sonia Sims, a former press secretary to Governor General Sir Patrick Allen, has filed a constitutional claim against the government of Jamaica, alleging unlawful removal from office, and is seeking full compensation for unpaid salaries and. To access this article in full, please log in or register today. SMEs see spike in business with adoption of digital payment systems. More lead stories. Email the editor. More stories.
What the? That them to me? No more details? Oh man. That's messed up, y'all. They locked me off from the rest of the article. Oh, that's messed up. That is messed up. Let me see if it open up. So to hear that, people, Miss Sonia Sims, former press secretary to the Governor General Sir Patrick, has filed a constitutional claim against the government of Jamaica, alleging unlawful removal from office and is seeking full compensation for unpaid salary. Ryan, what's up, Ryan? Salute to you, my brother. So yeah, that is happening with the Governor General. The Governor General seems to be making the news lately, hasn't he? In all the negative ways. You know, it's not been it's not been good. It's not been good. From the IC crying out, you know, for their IC crying out for vacancies to be filled. That is important to the IC's operations, which, as far as I understand, only require that the Governor General sign and stamp for it to go through. There has been a delay, and we have had no explanation, and we were told that he's not obliged to give us any explanation. All right. One of the things that I came across, I was listening to ABR News. I find this to be, I don't know what is going on with Andrew Owen's case. I really don't. There's a lot in the air. I am waiting on Isaac Buchanan or one of those lawyers to explain to us what really took place with Andrew Owen's case. Beverly King, how you doing? Abina, how are you? You know, something is going on with Andrew Owen's case, so remember, go to that first. ABI News did that video. Let me go to that video. We got part off for the press.
Because 90% of what them are do is because of what we have said. All you see them are talk about bus system that never mentioned until we mention our right system. But I soon come to that. The way them under pressure, them just a walk a cut ribbon. What do you me look a 2-year-old come from school with bubbles alone? I call up a school and say, want to a ribbon. Them say, Andrew cut it. I could not believe.
Yo, hey, judge youth.
If you want to look strong,
Hey, yo, man, listen, bro. Listen.
be strong, do military workouts.
In an indefinite stay, effectively ends the case with the
Director of Information's affidavit as Tuesday when the case came up for hearing.
subscribe to the channel.
The legal challenge mounted by Prime Minister Andrew Holness against the Integrity Commission report into his finances has been stayed indefinitely by the Supreme Court. The stay was granted on Tuesday when the case came up for hearing before the Judicial Review Court. More from Halshane Burke.
Dr. Holness and his attorneys were granted the stay pending the outcome of their appeal against an August ruling by the Supreme Court to reject his push to dismiss an affidavit by the IC's Director of Information. Justice Althea Jarrett had dismissed the applications by Dr. Holness and 3 connected companies to strike out part of the Director of Information's affidavit as being scandalous, irrelevant, and an abuse of process. The judge held that the evidence is relevant to the claim and that the Director of Information had a duty to disclose the information. In December last year, the Prime Minister was granted leave by the Supreme Court to seek judicial review in his battle with the Integrity Commission. This after the IC refused to certify his declaration and referred the case to the Financial Investigation Division. In the controversial 171-page report, the IC's Director of Investigation, Kevin Stevenson, said he could not conclude on the question of illicit enrichment, highlighted unexplained financial discrepancies in Dr. Holness's 2021 income filings, and raised questions about tax compliance and transactions of over $470 million involving connected companies and tax compliance. The IC, which said it could not certify the income declaration, referred the matter to the Financial Investigations Division, citing the Prime Minister's failure to provide expense details. But Dr. Holness has denied any wrongdoing, claiming the report is flawed and unfairly suggests unethical and criminal conduct by him and affiliated firms.
Now, that is the revelation on the kickstart of the trial between Andrew Holness and the Integrity Commission. Now, because we are first in study and we are not lawyers, we do research, and so we want to really understand what an indefinite stay really means.
Let me look at that. Indefinite stay. What does indefinite mean in legal terms? According to this, indefinite stay in legal terms can refer to 2 distinct concepts. An indefinite leave to remain in immigration which grants permission to live in the country. No, legal terms. Meaning a court order that permanently ends the legal case or the enforcement of a judgment. The case is dismissed without prejudice, meaning it can be reopened later, though this is less common, or the plaintiff is prevented from pursuing the claim further. But isn't Andrew the one that sued the Integrity Commission? So is it that this is a fancy term that Andrew has given up his lawsuit against the Integrity Commission? All the claims he had in the affidavit that the Integrity Commission was out to get him. And if this is the case, if it's a case where the proceedings has ended, why have we not heard more about it in the news in greater detail and explanation? Why have we not heard? I mean, it's one audio I heard, which is the one that ABR News played. What's up, Karen? I only heard one audio. the one that I just played a while ago from ABI News. I don't see any news article from what's their name? The Observer. I don't see any news article from the Observer covering this particular detail of Andrew One's case. Why is the media so quiet about it? Beryllium probing robbery of one of its truck. Every other month beryllium truck get robbed. Huh? I don't understand. This case is supposed to be the top tier. This is the biggest news in Jamaica. Why is the biggest news in Jamaica not being aired in detail if it's a case where it is ended? Right? Why are we not seeing any news articles I was probing through. I have been probing through these news articles all day, and I haven't seen anything about the Prime Minister. You understand? There are certain stories that I did a live early this morning around 12 o'clock. You guys can go look at it. I looked at some on YouTube, that is. I looked at some news that came out between, yesterday and that time. And none of it talked about Andrew Ones and his court case. It seems so, Karen. It seems so, it appears that way. And now I am listening to this audio now telling me about what is called indefinite stay. And in legal terms, indefinite stay in a court order that permanently ends a legal case or enforcement of a judgment. And we have to remember why this case is in court. The Integrity Commission did not take Andrew Ones to court. The Integrity Commission was taken to court. So, using my deductive reasoning, if this is true, that the case is end legally, I think Andrew Ones did exactly what Norman Brown did, his business partner, but he did it at a later stage. And again, if this is the case, was it a strategic move by Andrew Ones to tie up the Integrity Commission in litigation, in court, and so the proceedings of the FID under Dennis Strong at the same time, while he's in court with the IC, then we hear that the Governor General is holding up the IC appointments because he did not sign or put his stamp on something. He's not giving us any explanation. I think, in my opinion, and I could be wrong, and this is my honest opinion, I think this is a coordinated attack on the Integrity Commission. I believe that this is a coordinated attack on the Integrity Commission. That's what I believe. I could be wrong. Because none of this is making any sense. The only sense is making is that Andrew was strategically, like him saying, play chess. Andrew was strategically carrying, and this is all if this is true. If what I understand here is true, what Google says, a court order that permanently ends a legal case. That's what permanent stay means of proceedings. A court order that permanently ends a legal case or the enforcement of a judgment. Good afternoon, born again. Born again, oh Lord, big up. Right? What you guys think? It also says the effect of it is that the case is dismissed without prejudice, meaning it can be reopened later, though this is less common, or the plaintiff is prevented from pursuing the claim. Let me ask another question to Google. What would What is the common cause of indefinite stay ruling, indefinite stay of proceedings in court or in a case in court? I need to know what could cause it to see if this makes any sense. You know, let me see if we get an answer for that. Okay, not interested. I just want Google to tell me, answer me that. A stay of proceedings can be temporary or indefinite depending on the circumstances that prompted it. Common reason for requesting a stay include pending appeals, related cases in other jurisdictions, or waiting for critical evidence. You guys hear that? A stay of proceedings the common reason for it is one, related cases in other jurisdictions, pending appeals, or waiting for critical evidence. So, if that is the case, which one of these you think would most apply? That would make sense in terms of Andrew Holness' case. Pending appeals or waiting on critical evidence. Related cases in other jurisdictions, USA maybe. This is very interesting. No wonder the court case was brought into the judge's chambers. You think it's pending appeal, Jacqueline? Stout boss a pending appeal too. You guys might be right, you know. Because them love appeal, you know. And the appeals is a way to drag things out. You know. But now, if they're dragging it out and the Governor General does not sign off on the appointments at the IC, one of them is very important to the legal advice of the commission in terms of any operations and proceedings. That's the DCP, the Director of Corruption Prosecution. Wow. I don't like this. I don't like it. Something seems very fishy to me. I don't know how you guys are thinking, but something seems very off. What the Governor General is doing doesn't make any sense, and he's not explaining it. There's a procedure that needs to be followed, and if that is followed, somebody say you cannot have an appeal until the trial court case is ended. An appeal is before the court. I think he's waiting on critical evidence, you know. That's what I think. That's what I think. And because Andrew is screaming some sort of prejudice, as in, you know, somebody's out to get him, I think the court maybe they're trying to do this exactly by the letter of the law. And you would have to do it by the letter of the law, because Andrew is a legislator, and that's how the court should operate anyway. We don't want, I personally don't want any corners to be cut where this thing is concerned. As much as I want to see a proper investigation done in a timely manner. God on time. But I'm gonna move on. Check this out, ladies and gentlemen. Check this out.
Drop in murders, 42%. The Manchester Police Division is reporting The Manchester Police Division is reporting a 40% drop in murders, 42% decline in shootings, and a 10% reduction in assaults. Commanding officer for the division, Senior Superintendent Kerry Duncan, says while the numbers are encouraging, there is a developing issue that's keeping the police on alert.
Manchester, Mandeville in particular, have always been a parish that is plagued with break-ins. And last year, we made some significant inroads in the reduction of breaking offences within the space. What we see this year happening, we're seeing a trend developing. And based on that trend, we have put some measures in place, sir, that we're now seeing a reversal in the breaking offences within the space.
Though the break-ins remain a constant issue in the parish, SSP Duncan says there are other major concerns.
We also are concerned about our missing children within the parish. We have at least one active investigation going on now with the young man from Manchester High School. That has been getting some serious attention. Our team have been out day and night, following up on all the leads that we get in order to find or to locate this young man.
Another area showing improvement is lottery scamming, which has recorded a major decline. Still, SSP Duncan says the police remain vigilant.
We took a serious drive and job at that, and we brought in our experts from the lottery scamming task force. We came in, we made several arrests, seized a lot of money, seized a lot of vehicles. So we put them on their back. They go happy in the side.
The Manchester Police say they'll continue to focus on intelligence-led operations and community partnerships to maintain the downward trend in major crimes. Reporting for CVM News, I am Akeem Oret.
You guys remember, for those that watch me on a regular, you guys remember when I said that I've noticed a trend with the JCF. Anytime crime is getting out of control and you see the wave on social media happen, and people are looking at these crimes and they're piling up and piling up and piling up. They're finding babies dead, children, body in refrigerator. She said, I heard on RJR yesterday, my understanding is that what the PM had want to have struck down in the IC court, he can't. It had to stay. Oh yeah, we understand that, you know. Mishi, thank you so much. We understand that, you know, he wanted to strike out the act, the very, very part of the act that deals with illicit enrichment. We understand that. So thank you for that comment. But yeah, anytime there's a surge in crime and it makes the news, because I believe a lot of these cases are not making the news for whatever reason. They are just not making the news. And people in the communities, if you go on certain websites and follow certain people on TikTok and on you know, the independent news media personnel out there are carrying the news more accurately. Salute to you, my brother Yankee Bless, big up. They are carrying the news more accurately than mainstream media news. As a matter of fact, they are more faster. They have more intel on the ground. You understand? Even into investigations, because they're doing their own investigations and they have foots on the ground, they have boots on the ground. You understand? So I don't know if this is intentional to really try and, you know, protect this narrative that they're putting out, or this idea that, oh no man, the police they have everything under control. You know, things are not really bad. You know, this is just an isolated incident. When you look at the numbers, you know, we have this down, we have that down, we have that down. Every single time a mass unaliving happens, the JCF comes out with a media post like this. And Manchester, I'm going to read a message that somebody sent to me. She said, Bolo, I know I know this is a mixed group. Some are Christians and some are not. she's talking about my WhatsApp group, right? Rudolph, big up, pure politics. But I want to point out something to you. There's an increased bloodshedding in the parish of Manchester. And this started with Brown Man. This is the lady speaking. I'm reading her text now. This started with Brown Man. The blood of the person he unalived was used to open a portal to let in a hierarchy demon. And so we see the effects of what that demon is doing. If I am correct, that is the parish Mark Stewart has his church in. But I also think that's where a man by the name of Prophet Roydell as well is. This is what the person is saying, not me. Alright? So nobody can come for me. This is what the person is saying. Bolo, there's something deep happening in the spiritual realm over Manchester. Alright? She said, I was wondering if you, with the influence you have, could get some ministers to pray each 12 p.m. on your live against these powers. Cause if that portal don't close, it's going to become worse. Watch the news if we don't notice that Manchester has an attack since Brown Man incident. It's only the prayer of the church that can cancel that which is happening. Bolo, look into this, tell me your thoughts, and see if you can get these ministers to come on your platform in prayer, praying specifically for Manchester. Thanks. Tamara, how are you doing? So this is a concerned citizen that is Christian, right, and understands, the spiritual side of things. And she's very concerned about Manchester specifically. So I thought it was very ironic that the police in Manchester came out with this article. I was like, wow. And I didn't even remember that Brown Man situation happened in Manchester. Now, I spoke to one of these ministers, and what was relayed to me is this. The Jamaican people chose this. Well, a lot of them. They're voting in back of the third term. This is the consequence. Alright? It was already declared that once this government is in power, Jamaica will not have peace because of the things that they're involved in spiritually, this government. Alright? So, it's pretty much dog eat with supper. The remnant has to cover themselves. And Isabella Rose, big up yourself. The remnant has to cover themselves. People, get your consecrated olive oil. Pray over yourself, your family, and your kids them. Alright? Jamaica is under severe... I'm echoing? I don't know why I'm echoing. Hold on, let me come off of TikTok and come back. Hold on. Wonder why I'm echoing. That don't mean I'm not in a hall. I don't have anything else. I don't have anything else playing that should have me echoing. That's kind of weird. It's kind of weird indeed. Alright, so let me resume. Hopefully I'm not echoing now. Come up, TikTok, come up. Alright, so am I echoing now? Am I still echoing, guys, on TikTok? Let me know. Let me know if I'm still echoing. Yes, so basically they chose Barabbas, and this is the consequence of their decision. And if I'm really listening to the prophets, it's a consistent message where that is concerned. Things are going to get worse because the people are stiff-necked and they are not listening to the men and women of God. So now God has to do what God does, and they will see the manifestation, and there's going to be a great revival, but there's going to be a cleansing It's going to be disaster. It's going to be judgment. You know, and it is what it is, because we have been getting warning for 4 or 5 years now. The Prime Minister of the country been getting warning for around the same time. Many men and women of God has approached him about what needs to be done. You know, 3 days fasting, 7 days fasting and prayer. All of those suggestions was made to Andrew Holness, and he pretty much never did any of it. So, you know, the old people has a saying, warning from many different prophets. The warning, it doesn't matter who the warning coming from. The warning came. There was a lady, a pastor, that told Andrew, he was interviewing her in the COVID time, saying that the country needs to go under fasting and prayer for 3 days or 7 days. Good afternoon, Monica. And those same you can know when a truck empty, you know. You see, every time you hear a truck move so fast, and yeah, man, you know, say it empty. Anyway, alright, going down here. Sir, I am not here to argue with you about what you think about prophets. Yeah, man, so if that's what you're here for, you can kindly move along here. Not here to argue with you about that. Like I said before, the prophets here have spoken about fasting and prayer that should be called by the government, and they refused. They refused to listen to the prophet.
40%.
And here is the result. Here is the result. But I'm going to move on to this flood threat looms in Long Bay Library. Let me hear what I say. Because it's a part of judgment, you know. The flooding and the waters.
And the community's access to learning resources.
Sea has been coming in closer to the
Listen to this.
Sea has been coming in closer to the land, so you know the situation gets worse as the year goes by.
Frequent flooding continues to pose a major threat to the Long Bay Library in East Portland. Each heavy downpour leaves the facility at risk, raising concerns about the safety of books, equipment, and the community's access to learning resources. According to librarian at the Long Bay Branch Library, Avon Price, the low-lying structure has become prone to flooding, prompting calls for better drainage and protection of the community's only public library.
The sea is a threat to the building, the premises here. Whenever we have weather, the tide lifts. The water come through that channel there, come across the road and come up here. It demolishes our sign at one point when we had a disaster. So I think that is a threat to us, because should we have another hurricane, it might enter the building, damages the premises. Whenever the water comes in, we are marooned in here, and then you would have to call our parent organization and they will give permission for us to leave before it gets worse, because you can never tell how bad it will get.
Ms. Price shared different ways in which she believes the relevant authorities can assist.
When the last time the situation occurred, how long did it shut you guys down for?
No, maybe just for the day, because it wasn't a hurricane, so it was just a disaster for the evening. So the next day the water recedes, but then we had to do some cleaning up because it comes with all the sand and debris. A long-term solution, I think, a retaining wall, you know, to keep the water away from the road, because that is damaging the road premises, threatening people. So if you have a retaining wall, the water would not come over so much.
Meanwhile, a concerned resident is calling attention to the absence of speed bumps and a pedestrian crossing near Long Bay Primary School, describing it as a safety hazard for the community's children.
Long Bay Fair Prospect leg of the road, I noticed that there's no speed bumps. There's speed bump in Boston where you have the tourist area, but in the residential area, there's none. There's no pedestrian crossing at the primary school, in the school areas. at the entrance of the scheme. So if that I think that is lacking, because the highway is so smooth now, you have constant speeding. So you come off the vehicle at my scheme, which is Fair Prospect Gardens, you have to stand up there and patiently wait to cross. There's nothing slowing down the vehicles.
Kevin Black reporting for CVM News.
Sea has been coming.
So you hear what go on? Waters them coming in, you know? All of the flat
Land, so you know the situation get worse as the year goes by.
Frequent flooding continues to pose a major threat to
all of the flat areas them in Jamaica. I would suggest the people them move away from. You know, I would suggest that they do that. All of those areas. Sophia, what's up? Blessings to you. I would suggest they do that. Now, going into the next thing, former PM Patterson desires U.S. drone strikes on vessels in Caribbean waters. Let's hear what he has to say. Let's hear what Mr. P.J. Patterson, the Right Honorable, has to say. All right. Let me read it aloud. Thank God for the technology.
Former Prime Minister P.J. Patterson is describing the United States, U.S., drone attacks on vessels in Caribbean waters as fundamentally dangerous and a horrible erosion of regional leaders' commitment to sovereignty in the region. Since September 2nd, U.S. President Donald Trump has ordered military strikes on at least 5 boats in the Caribbean Sea, which his administration claims were carrying drugs to the U.S.
You know, P.J. Patterson is not our prime minister anymore, but he keeps doing stuff like this, and I appreciate it, because you see, our current prime minister, our so-called prime minister, is the one I would love to hear this from. You know, Ma, what's up? The current prime minister is the one I would love to hear this from. Because the man is absolutely right. Fundamentally dangerous and a horrible erosion of regional leaders' commitment to sovereignty in the region. He's absolutely right. There's no argument about that. None. How you doing, Hillary? Good afternoon or good day. You understand? None. Let's continue.
According to the U.S. government's account, the military has killed 27 people, with the most recent attack on Tuesday, which the U.S. government said killed 6 people. Patterson, who served as Jamaica's prime minister from 1992 to 2006, told the Gleaner the situation was not only frightening, but dangerous. At our very first meeting in 1972 in Chaguaramas, the 4 independent countries, Jamaica under Michael Manley, Barbados under Errol Barrow, Guyana under Forbes Burnham, and under the chairmanship of Eric Williams, then Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, declared the Caribbean to be a zone of peace. Headlines delivered. What we are witnessing is a fundamentally dangerous and horrible erosion of that firm commitment to assert our collective sovereignty in the area. It is a matter which compels the heads of governments in the Caribbean, as a matter of the greatest urgency, to be in consultations and seek to take a common position, hopefully in reaffirmation of that inviolable position. In a statement a day after the first strike, Trinidad and Tobago's Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar voiced strong support for the U.S. action. I, along with most of the country, am happy that the U.S. naval deployment is having success in their mission. The pain and suffering the cartels have inflicted on our nation is immense. I have no sympathy for traffickers. The U.S. military should kill them all violently. However, speaking at the United Nations General Assembly in late September, Barbados Prime Minister Mia Mottley appealed for dialogue to avoid a war between the U.S. and Venezuela, while Dr. Ralph Gonsalves, Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, described the foreign militarization of the waters near Venezuela as exceedingly troubling. The current CARICOM chairman is Jamaica's Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness, But the regional grouping has so far not made public its position on the vexed issue. Established pattern.
This is what he does. He's a coward. He's a coward. Andrew Holness is a damn coward. It's the same thing he did in the UN. Right? He takes the politically correct position. He never stands up against, he doesn't stand on nothing. He is a puppet. Andrew Holness is an extreme puppet. Andrew Holness is a yes man. When the big wigs come on, him waggle him tail like a little obedient dog. You think Andrew Holness are gonna come say Mr. PJ Patterson said, why do you think PJ Patterson is so respected globally as a leader? As a small nation, this man was never afraid. How you doing, Martha? This man was never afraid to stand up, especially when it comes to social justice issues. You understand? And coming from the party that he's from, that is socialist, you can't understand why. A leader like PJ Patterson and Mark Gordon is the same. You understand? I mean, both men are different, but ideally in terms of these things, if I'm sure if Mark Golding was the prime minister, his approach in the UN where Israel is concerned, and also the situation in the Caribbean waters with the United States, they would have made their but guess what? You know, I cannot expect anything good from Andrew, because Andrew, I believe the United States has dirt on Andrew Holness. You understand? I don't think Andrew Blossom, big up yourself. I don't think Andrew Holness can even talk loud to the United States. I don't believe it. He's not standing on integrity. Andrew Holness is not standing on integrity, so he cannot speak against certain things when it comes on to the United States of America and what they're doing in the Caribbean. He cannot. Guys, like up the video for me. All you gotta do is double tap the middle of the screen with your finger like this, like TikTok. This is my belief. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Sonia, how you doing? And guys, remember, the Cash App donation is always available. It's right there. For the people on TikTok, you guys see it on the screen. It's on the sticker. For you guys in YouTube, right there, that pinned comment, yes, donate to the Cash App. The PayPal information is there and the Zelle. All right, feel free to bless up the platform. All right, let's continue. We got PJ Patterson, but I really believe that Andrew is compromised. Andrew is a politically exposed politician. He's a pep, and I think Andrew Holness is corrupt to the core. This is my belief, and you know the situation with the Integrity Commission report is just a fraction of the possibility, in my opinion, of how corrupt Andrew Holness might be. So I don't think he didn't even sign the 7 principles of leadership. He didn't sign the code of conduct, because when you sign the code of conduct, you can held accountable, you know. Oh, I know that, Rose. I know that. I remember the visit from Bill Gates. I also remember the visit from from Obama. Hey, Jamaica, trust me, there's powers and principalities, man. I'm telling you. There's a lot going on here. Like and share the video.
Pattern. Patterson would, however, not be drawn into forming an opinion on why CARICOM has chosen to remain silent. I would rather not share my view on that. This is not a matter that permits any semblance of political division. He, Holness, is the chairman of CARICOM. There is a well-established pattern by which we have dealt with such matters. Perhaps the most recent one is when we had to meet to deal with the American request for a shipwriter agreement. Jamaica entered into the shipwriter agreement with the Americans in 1997, which was brought into force by the passage of the Maritime Drug Trafficking Suppression Act 1998. The agreement allows U.S. vessels to pursue and search, within Jamaica's waters, vessels suspected of drug trafficking. While mindful of the country's sovereignty, the U.S. vessels may also pursue and search Jamaican vessels, which arouse suspicion in international and international waters. Jamaicans are among regional fisherfolk who have expressed concern about the development, with fears that they become collateral damage in the ongoing conflict. Patterson says the continued onslaughts is a clear and present danger to all maritime users and urged action from the regional body. There are rules which apply in international waters which should not be violated. What is taking place has worrying implications, not only in terms of the violation of international law, but it affects activities of those who operate in maritime waters, whether for fishing, cruising, or sailing. The existing situation demands that CARICOM heads cannot remain silent. Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade Senator Kamina Johnson-Smith has not responded to emailed questions on the matter sent to her office on October 7th. Announcing the first of the strikes in early September.
Are we surprised? Dwayne Smith, how you doing? Salute to you. Dwayne Smith, I think it's bigger than that. I don't think it's just the money that he got from the United States for that. I don't think that's the reason alone. It's way bigger than that, in my opinion. You know, I could be wrong, but I think it's way bigger than that.
September, Trump said his forces had destroyed. In early September, Trump said his forces had destroyed a vessel that left Venezuela and was operated by the Tren de Aragua cartel and carrying drugs bound for the U.S. The accounts have been accompanied by grainy footage, but the U.S. government has not provided evidence of the alleged drug trafficking or details about who or what was on board each ship. In one case, the Colombian president said a boat hit by the U.S. was not Venezuelan, but Colombian with Colombian citizens inside, a claim which the White House denied. Karen Madden at Galena.
People, the political landscape, you know, globally. Pikachu, big up. The political landscape globally, or regionally, we have to pay attention to. The concerns that PJ Patterson raised is about international law and a country's sovereignty. Basically, what I understand is that the USA is basically overstepping their boundaries. There was an act that was signed, and it clearly states what they can do. Georgia, what's up? It clearly states what they can do and what they cannot do. And what they have been doing, the man is saying that's dangerous to the sovereignty of the country. It's almost like a takeover. You know, it's almost like a takeover. That's what I understand from it. And I think, the USA could be exercising their muscle through intimidation because of China's presence in Jamaica at the moment. Could be. It's possible. But something happened here when them say sentence be across from the police station. Okay, here what going on, so. So what I'm understanding here is that the citizens is telling the taxi man, a foolish you say, brother. Yeah, you nearly look up somebody vehicle. The police stop you. You was doing something illegal. It says here that they're not supposed to utilize the gas station as a taxi stand in the daytime or broad daylight. They are supposed to load or pick up passengers. They are not supposed to load or pick up passengers during the day. They are only permitted to do so anytime before 6 a.m. in the early morning and anytime after 6 p.m. when the park is closed. They know the rules, passengers and everyone. However, this taxi operator was wrong and strong and barefaced. Right? Yeah. In Senance Bay, the police station, they're right there, and then you have a gas station. Yeah, they're right in front of the police station. So, brother, just take the L now, brother. Take the L, bro. You're wrong. Me not support no citizen when no say them wrong, you know, and I violate the police them, you know. I'm not supporting that, brother. And I think it's very unwise to do so. Why would you give the police a legitimate reason to embarrass or abuse you? And I'm not saying that there's a legitimate reason to embarrass or abuse you, but they can make it seem that way because you are one resisting the police order, lawful order, right? And you're in a confrontation with the police. Have you not heard that confrontations with the police nowadays have become extremely lethal? Why would you put yourself in that situation? Brother, take the ticket and go on, brother. You're wrong, brother. Take the ticket and go on. I don't know you're from Adams. I don't know who you is. But you don't need to do better than this. Take the ticket and go on. We don't want to become a statistic. We are tired of the bloodshed in the country. We don't want you to become a statistic. Please take the ticket and go on. Go argue it in a court, brother. Go and argue the ticket in court. If you feel so wrong and strong about it, go and argue the ticket in court, brother. I want to know so the police them petty, you know. Them are human being. Especially traffic police. Traffic police petty, you know. If a traffic police give you a ticket and you go to court and the judge rule in your favor, let me tell you something. Dog, eat your supper. Because the police them don't like to be embarrassed. Let me tell you some of the things that I've heard is happening with these types of situations. How are you doing, Pinky? Ever bless? How are you? Salute. Bless up yourself. Right? Thank you for liking the live. Right? And guys, what going on TikTok? Oh well, I look a bit honest still and I don't really see my people and I don't really know what going on. I don't really know what going on at all. Let me share up the live there. I don't really share up my TikTok live, you know, but let me tell you what happened in them situation there. You become a target. You become a target to the police. You understand? In some cases, they're not targeted directly. Them friend target you that work in the same area. And them label you as that brother there where they do that and think him get away with it. And then, boop! You can't get away with nothing at all. Any little thing, if you there will be no leniency. Let me tell you that there will be no leniency. So come on, man, and stop it, man. Better than this, brother. No, 50 Cent. Yo, 50 Cent gotta chill. This is international news. But 50 Cent is my artist. Now, after 26 years, I don't know how true this is, but it says here, after 26 years, Ja Rule says he's waving the white flag. He tweeted, "My beef with 50 started back in 1999. We both been petty as hell, but today I am done. I'm a grown man with kids now, and this beef has to end." 50 Cent tweeted and said, and shot back and said, "Nah, bruh, this ain't over. Our beef lasts till death. Do us part. I be doing the crip walk dance on your grave." Yo, bro, I hope this is not true, man. Yo, 50. It sounds like something that 50 would say, but I'm not sure if this is real. Tanya, Latanya, what's up? What's up? What's up? Big ups, big ups, big ups. Let me see. What else? What else? What else I gotta share with y'all? These are some old videos. Oh yeah, this is interesting. This is interesting.
Claiming that your pants are too tight for the dress code. My pants are too tight for the dress. Many years ago, the Speaker of Parliament called me and said, "Lisa, there's a letter written by an MP, and they're complaining that your pants are too tight for the dress code." My pants are too tight for the dress code. And soon after, a motion was read in the House to debate a proper dress code for parliamentarians. So yeah, my pants inspired a parliamentary debate, and then came after my sleeveless dress, and I could go on and on. But that was just one reality of the deep scrutiny that was constantly trying to force me into conformity. And if you've been paying attention over the years, you'll know that there was always judgment. People trying to ridicule my courage with lines like, "We don't want no beauty queen here," or "She's so consumed with her looks," or "This isn't a beauty contest. She can't understand complex issues." So I just couldn't win. So what did I do? I pulled back. I stopped. I never spoke about fashion, skincare, wellness. I only showed one side of myself, because as social media grew, it took so much energy to defend who I was. And here's the truth. I never changed. I still took care of my skin. I never cared. I never cared what people said about my body. I still took care of my body. I still chose elegance. So that when you see me now answering your questions about beauty, about fashion, about nutrition, wellness, it's not new for me. This is who I've always been, multidimensional. I've always been knowing that taking care of yourself doesn't make you less capable. I've just decided to let you in. So always remember, judgment will always come, but real courage isn't about shrinking to fit someone else's box. Real courage is owning all you are, and that is the most beautiful thing that you can ever wear. Many years ago.
So it appears that a lot of people was intimidated. Thank you so much for the likes, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Latanya. It seems a lot of people was intimidated by Lisa Hanna. Somebody actually wrote a letter complaining about her pants. That's crazy. That's wild. That is wild. So now she basically said, "Listen, I'll let you guys win." But nothing is wrong with Lisa Hanna comprehensive, approach to care for self. I don't think everybody will get to the place where she is in caring for self. I just don't think everybody is mentally built or designed that way. But if they were to incorporate some level of it, it would be healthy. Myself included. Right? I don't know how old Lisa Hanna is, but isn't Lisa Hanna like 50? At least. Let me check. How old is Lisa Hanna? How old is Lisa Hanna? Oh yeah, she is 50. Wow. I didn't even know that. So she's 50. I mean, you know what I'm saying? She takes care of herself. She goes to the gym. You know what I'm saying? She be juicing. She be doing her thing, man. She be doing her thing. And given her reputation, you know, I don't see how anybody can stop her in any personal endeavors. You know, it's quite unfortunate. It didn't work. She's like 53. It says here she's 50 years old. August 20, 1975. And it's now 2025. That's literally 50 years. August 20 just passed. So this is her 50th year. She's in her 51st year now. You understand? So I thought that was interesting. I never heard Lisa Hanna you know, speak on certain things like that. And I said, wow, so somebody really did that when she was in government? I said, wow. And there was an interesting moment with Lisa Hanna when she was speaking in Parliament. I did a video on it. I sure did. I know I can find that video.
Yeah. In an indefinite state.
I know I can find that video. Wait a minute. All I have to do is type in Lisa Hanna's name in the search bar right there. Lisa Hanna. And the Speaker of the House. Alright. Reacting to Lisa Hanna viral video. Shocking, disturbing info reveal Lisa Hanna that will Bangarang. Bangarang with Lisa Hanna. And this is too long. Lisa Hanna exposes about the chicken industry now. What's your name? What the Speaker of the House name? Juliet Holness. Juliet Holness. I don't know why I'm not seeing more videos of Juliet Holness. Juliet Holness. "22 videos them say. Let me see. Aha! Found it. Told you I'd find it. Told y'all. Play on YouTube. Bolo Vietnam.
Madam Speaker, the agricultural warning program is an important
to deal with the crime in the farming region. They had recruits so
to protect themselves.
Here we go. Right here. No, but right here. We got and it goes on. Right here. Oh Lord, I want to see if it does. You see something? Ali not coming. Search for your number now. Come on. Tell Ali if you call. Call something. I call him here.
I've had in my years as a member of parliament was seen when a group, 2 people, stuff an entire cow into a pro box. No, it's a serious something. No, my thing is, what is the question of the minister? I'm getting there.
Oh, we got smoke. We got smoke. Wait a minute. Look what Lisa Hanna face. I'm getting there. My thing is, what is the question? What kind of verbiage that the Speaker of the House is using? My thing is, what is the question? It sounds like some girl there in the salon and I'm argue with them one another. You know what I'm saying? You know, sound too. Yo, I ain't gonna cap. I be watching my own videos dying with laughter, bro. Is that weird? Is that weird? I be watching my old videos when I used to go on camera. I had the sound bites and everything. I'll be watching my own videos and I'll be laughing, bro. I'm talking about some old ass videos from months ago. I'm like, yo, this nigga funny as hell.
too classy. I don't know, is it just me?
I don't know.
Is it just me? Eh? Is it just me? Juliet Honest don't respect no one in parliament. No, but what is her issue with this individual? Because I see she big up the brother a while ago, you know. And I said she like how him punctual and him on time and them something there. So, me now run with the narrative say she not like nobody in a parliament. She like fair side and probably one and two person over the other side. Me just want to know, what is the real issue between them two people? I'm gonna know why Arlene no call me, you know. Arlene, why you hanging out to try? Arlene, call me no man. Don't put my number in the chat. 1876 45. You understand that? But
all right, so you have to get to the question. So this is the section when you are no longer allowed to make speeches as would have been done by the member who speaks as the individual.
But you're taking up my time,
responding.
Yo, she laughed a while ago and said, but madam, you're taking up my time. I hear so you get juicy, you know. Watch out.
No, it's my duty to do so. Right. And it is your duty to get to the question.
Ooh, you saw that? Chilling, isn't it?
Yo, I'm telling you, there is something between this lady Juliet Otis and Lisa Hanna. I don't know what it is, but they got beef. They got beef, they got cow, they got steak. They something going on.
Julia, look at her face too. Like, she out of order, eh? What is she? You know them way there? Look on her. Look on her face. No. It is my duty. And this is your duty. Box cover. Hey, me never know say I saw. Parliament did nice.
I never knew.
Parliament full of drama like days of our lives to blows and skirt. And what could have caused all of this? Rejoice always in him. Lisa will put her nicely. Me know, me tell you, Lisa answer good man.
My two questions are, and I never thought I would get here, but veterinary services, private veterinary services, Minister, offer the insertion into dogs and the cats a chip. And I remember years ago. And what happens is that chip, you can read it, it's put here. The question I have for you, as a part of your predial larceny plan and strategy, is it that you will provide, or does RADA, or the Ministry of Agriculture, have the ability or the hope to provide this kind of technology to livestock? Because from my experience, it is mainly livestock that is stolen as a part of predial larceny. The pigs, the goats, the cows, and other livestock, not mainly vegetables. If I may be permitted, Madam Speaker, to ask a second question. Thank you so much. Much obliged. My second question is...
Hold on there. Somebody a call me. So, Lisa Hanna, there was some energy between Lisa Hanna, or energy from Juliet Otis towards Lisa Hanna. And it was demonstrated. I think this was probably the last time Lisa Hanna had a contribution in Parliament, if I'm not mistaken, 11 months ago. I don't remember her being in Parliament and asking a question after this. I could be wrong. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. But I don't think I am. But yes, so, you know, Lisa Hanna is a hot topic, so to speak. But that's it for today, ladies and gentlemen. Well, not today, but for right now. I don't know of any news per se that is breaking. I'm going to double check before I go. Oh, there's one more news here, but this article, it's kind of, should I go over it? What time is it? 1:30? Juliet, I never come sick. This article is Newly minted MP Dennis Gordon after the right start. This is the Observer. Listen to this.
Many Jamaicans returning home after 5 years or longer are expressing surprise to see the emerging Kingston skyline and the large number of new buildings dotting the capital city and extending outwards, making the place almost unrecognizable to them. To some people, the explosion in construction is a thing of pride, suggesting that Jamaica Central News. To some people, the explosion in construction is a thing of pride, suggesting that Jamaica is taking on a more modern appearance. But for others, there are fears that the requisite infrastructure that should accompany such developments might not be adequate. For that reason, we have taken special note of a press statement issued 6 days ago by new Member of Parliament for St. Andrew East Central, Mr. Dennis Gordon, that brings hope that he will be the kind of opposition MP for which the country yearns. Assuming, of course, that he is not just a flash in the pan. Named as the opposition spokesman on urban renewal and redevelopment, Mr. Gordon called for a comprehensive and climate-smart approach to urban planning and infrastructure management across the Kingston metropolitan area, KMA. Footballs. He says, correctly, that the ongoing strain on the city's drainage and physical infrastructure, highlighted by recent flooding events, underscores the urgent need for planning systems that integrate climate resilience, environmental sustainability, and nature-based solutions. There is an urgent need to examine the extent to which increasing development in the KMA is impacting our physical infrastructure and to apply climate-resilient, nature-based solutions. Given our position as a small island developing state in the Caribbean, said Mr. Gordon. It is, of course, no secret that unchecked development in the KMA has intensified pressure on drainage systems, roads, and waste infrastructure, leading to more frequent and severe flooding during heavy rainfall.
This was evident the other day when the heavy rains fell. Claudia, you know what you're doing, Claudia? This was evident the other day when the rains fell heavy in Kingston. And one of the ladies that was a big victim of it, she mentioned a building complex or apartment complex that was erected. The position of it actually caused the flooding to come to her side. Before that building was erected, they didn't have that issue. And that lady, I don't know if she has estimated the loss. Remember, this was not a hurricane, this was just regular rain falling. And water come and flood out the entire place, right? And I don't think that this lady has done an estimate in terms of damages. Her car, her house, her furniture, her appliances. Thank God no lives were lost. But when you look at that house for that lady, Russell Patterson, big up. When you look at that house for that lady, on the floor of the house, it was like the floor of the gutter. Muck, mud, dirt, all of that. Literally. That's what you saw. You know? Very, very unfortunate. And,
rainfall.
And it's because of the buildings being erected without mindfulness of climate change and proper drainage system and waste management, the taking up of the garbage. All of it contributes to the disaster. So Mr. Gordon is absolutely right.
Wholeheartedly agree with Mr. Gordon, who certainly would have learned something about this subject while serving multiple terms in the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation. A huge part of the problem, particularly in the capital, is the corrupt propensity of developers to build without approval or to exceed provisions of any approval, sometimes with the tacit agreement of officials who are not shy about lining their pockets.
So the corruption in Jamaica is a real issue. And it's all the way from the top. All the way, Merle, how you doing? All the way from the top. I don't know if you guys remember an IC report that had a company that Mr. Holness had some involvement in, his business partner, his son, and I believe his sister were owners, and the argument and allegation was that they built on a room that was not approved, and the IC took pictures and showed the development of a room that is allegedly there that was not approved. These are the things that they're talking about. You heard what he said? So it is at the top. A huge part of the problem, particularly in the capital, is the corrupt propensity of developers. Andrew Onis is in real estate. To developers to build without approval or exceed the provisions of any approval, which was one of the accusations in the report of the IC. Blessings, blessings, blessings. All is never well, but you know, we give thanks. God is good. God is great. Trust me. So let's continue.
Pockets. Mr. Gordon was clearly doing his homework when he cited the important work of Jamaica's Information and Communication Technologies Unit final report of the Nationally Determined Contribution, NDC 3.0, to the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, noting that Jamaica's vulnerability to rising temperatures, increased rainfall, and sea level rise demands the use of ecosystem-based and climate-resilient approaches in national and municipal planning. He insisted that infrastructure must work with nature, not against it, and that green corridors, permeable surfaces, and urban wetlands are not luxuries, but necessities for a sustainable Kingston. We encourage him to continue to press for improved collaboration between the National Works Agency, National Environment and Planning Agency, and local authorities to create a unified planning framework. Modern cities thrive when infrastructure investment is guided by science and sustainability, rather than short-term politics, Mr. Gordon says. We hope he means it.
He means it. But the PMP is not in power. It's the JLP. They are the ones that have to make sure that if it's legislation necessary, sanctions, not just thought, but enforcement of said things. We can't have a situation where the Prime Minister's family members that owns a company is in the IC report allegedly being accused of those types of allegations that they mentioned here. It's not right. It's not right. But that is my time. I appreciate each and every one of you for being here. You could be anywhere else. Thank you so much. Before you leave, all I ask is that you guys smash that like button, and I'll see you on the next one, ladies and gentlemen. See you on the next one. Appreciate y'all. That's my time. Big up to Prophet Mark Stewart. Big up to the Apostle, Pastor Peter Chambers. Shout out to all the prophetess. Shout out to Pastor the Apostle Jeffrey Shuttleworth, and all the men and women of God that are standing firm against the beast and standing with God. You and us to dig up and doing God's work. I, for one, I'm very appreciative of them, and I understand how important the work that they're doing really is, because of the many spiritual attacks that Jamaica is facing right now. Like I said, it is really our fault. We did not listen when we were being warned, and some of us are still arguing and trying to tear down the men and women of God. Marjorie, you just come in, you have to watch the replay here. Well, you don't have to, but I would encourage you to. If you notice, I haven't been really putting out a lot of videos. I've been doing these 1 hour, 1.5 hour live streams, So catch the replay. Just put it on fast forward and like and share the video for me. My page is still under attack. Still under attack. But you know, we still go through. The only way through is through. Alright? The word is love. Blessings.